Honestly, I think we can just kind of dive in because, well, essentially, I was thinking like I can just be vulnerable and kind of share like my relationship with my body and this topic. And then I was thinking, like, Hannah, you probably will want to turn this into a therapy session because I won't be surprised if you're
No, I
like,
won't. I
okay,
won't. I won't.
diagnosing Holly. Dun,
No,
dun,
I
dun.
won't diagnose you. I won't.
But it's okay too if you want. Well, welcome everybody to Get Mom Ready. I'm so excited to be with you guys today and also terrified because I'm going to open up about, my own relationship with my body and food and all the things. But per usual, I'm a pretty open book. I say that now. And then I was very surprised. For the first time ever, I understood what Brene Brown talks about with a vulnerability hangover when my first episode of Get Mom Ready was released. I surprised myself how scared I got like at 2:30 a.m. the night before it went live. So anyway, and we record these a little bit ahead, so like that episode at the time that we're recording today's episode, that episode just went live a couple of weeks ago. So anyway, right now I feel great about being an open book today. Ask me in a few weeks when this one actually goes live how I feel. But yeah, and I also want to thank before we dive in and before I forget, our sponsor, PDPed. Want to remind everybody to use code MOMREADY for 20% off your first order. And if you have purchased PDPed, let us know in comments, etc. Would love to hear if you have purchased them, how you're enjoying them. Maybe I should post a couple pictures because Iris has several pairs and she loves them. So
I was thinking about PDPed last night because we're going to New York for Thanksgiving and my child has not worn shoes ever. And because he hasn't needed to, but in New York, it will be cold at Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh my God, Ethan's going to need shoes. And I'm going to get him some PDPeds that are going to be perfect he's not going to be walking, but he'll be, just got to look cute and like have his little feet covered. And so PDPeds is coming through.
I love it.
Also, you never know. He could be walking. So
no, the child is no. I mean, honey, if you listen to this one day, that's great. But you're not showing signs of walking yet. You're not an early achiever in that department. I love you, but you're not.
I will say though, Iris it felt like it took forever for her to start crawling. Like she didn't start crawling until I think like 10 months. She was like showing all the signs. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it was like she immediately started walking. She only crawled really for like a month, I feel like.
Wow.
I'm probably getting this wrong, but like,
now you forget.
Anyways, she went from like finally moving forward to immediately pulling up. And then she started walking pretty early at like 11 months. Like in the 11, I mean, she wasn't like perfect at walking, but she was like able to
toddle around.
Exactly. So anyway, you never know. You never know. Okay. So ladies, let's talk. I think I suggested this topic a couple of weeks ago, but there's kind of like 3 categories where my brain is today. So first of all, I gained a lot of weight during pregnancy and I knew it was happening and I did not care because I was like, it took me 5 years to have Iris.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat whatever I want. I don't care.
Yeah, totally.
Nourish your body.
Exactly. And all I wanted was I ate so much cereal. I craved cereal. So like frosted shredded wheat and milk.
That's like a common pregnancy.
I had that too.
Never
It
heard
was
of
the
that.
only thing. The only thing I wanted.
Yeah, I didn't get it, but I remember my neighbor a couple of months ago. She was like, if you're at the grocery store, can you get shredded wheat? I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Just
Awesome.
Seriously. It was, yeah. And like pre-pregnancy, I literally don't remember the last time I had milk, like whole milk, or like just regular milk. Like I never craved milk, but during pregnancy, that was like what I wanted. So that, and then like also things like peanut butter and jelly, just, I guess like carbs.
Kid foods.
Kid foods, exactly.
Yes, so weird. So, anywho,
Which like, oh, well, I don't know.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was like, no such thing as kid foods, like everything even and equal. But like, it does sound funny to be like peanut butter and jelly and like cereal and like, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So fast forward, I to like having Iris, and the first thing that happened that it's so funny too when you talk about these things and then you realize like you're having a reaction. Like I'm kind of like a little, you guys can't probably see it, but I'm like, for me, a little teary-eyed behind here inside, which is funny. I'm like, why am I? But anyway, so I
Yeah,
had
I get
bought,
curious.
yeah. I had bought this I had bought this little outfit from Target, like little shorts, and because I'm the pajama girl. My pajamas are like disgusting Walmart sweatpants and a t-shirt that I've probably had for 10 years. Um, but I was like, you know what? I feel like that I had seen a friend of mine had posted some photos of her in the hospital bed. And I was like, that's so cute. Like just super simple Target PJs.
Love those Target PJs. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I did force the pair of shorts on, but it was not pretty and it was very uncomfortable. And I remember just sitting there being so frustrated. Like I'm trying to, oh, and then the other thing was,
And this is in the hospital.
this is in the hospital, like in
Okay,
the hospital
okay.
bed. Yeah. And then the
Literally
other
just being good.
thing, yeah. The other thing was, oh, also, it was like, I don't, it's Target. So like, I'm sure it wasn't real satin, but it was like that material that,
Yeah.
so I'm putting on what's the cream?
Lanolin.
Well, yes.
Lanolin.
So the whole front is covered now in just the like, it looks like I put
It's
oil.
oil. Yeah. It's just like Vaseline.
So I'm like I'm like, of course, Holly, like Walmart sweatpant and 10-year-old t-shirt Holly tried to choose, let's try to be cute. And here I am, barely can get these shorts on. They're tight, they're uncomfortable.
Also, not forgetting, like it's silk.
Not for
Oh.
And then the shirt's covered in this oil, and I am just like, what? So that was like the
So good.
first, that was kind of, I feel like that was like the first, like, here we go. Like,
Yep.
I am dreading the next, however long, I don't know, reality that everything has now changed in my body.
Well, and can I
And
just
yeah.
add to your story too that like not long before that, maybe a year before that, you were working
geez.
really hard on your body and you like I think, you felt better about yourself than you had ever in your life and you were doing things like exercise and diet, all of it, like you had it on lock. And so I think that adds even more of an element to it because you're wondering, am I ever going to get that back? Or like, I felt so good in my skin and now I don't. And with all the hormones and all that. So I just feel like that's another kind of important layer too.
I appreciate you saying that because I forget. And then it's a good reminder. So, okay. So then people are like, I remember even going to the lactation consultant and I was like, was weighing, this was probably like 2 weeks removed from birth. And I was still the same weight that I was basically like, yeah, I think like my last few days of pregnancy. And, they made me weigh myself and I was just like, oh, this is horrible. And she's like, "Oh, it'll fall off," So that's the first thing. Hannah, would love to pick your brain about like the phrases that we hear that I just wish that everyone would stop saying, and like or like things like, for me the trigger one is that'll just fall off.
Yes.
And then also I've watched you be so intentional about the way that you talk about bodies with yourself and with your girls. So I would also love to hear that from you. So maybe we start there about like our mindset relationship with our body. And then I've got like loads. This might also even turn into multiple episodes, but like
I think so.
yeah. So maybe
I think this could be
start
really,
there.
I think this could be really good. Oh, I know where to begin. I mean, I think body image is so difficult. And I'll actually share a little bit because I think this could be helpful. I do remember, like, I think your history has a huge piece on this, is like what impact has like your childhood and things like that given to you now. And I think becoming a mother gives like a whole new, like, I don't know, it's like Pandora's box of like a whole new way of thinking about those things. I do remember struggling with body image like for a lot of my life. And I think
Me too.
after getting pregnant with my first, I think that was the first time, like while I was pregnant, I was kind of like, oh, I don't have to restrict, right? Like, even if I was in like a more healthy place of different times in my life, I think that was the first time where I was like, I have a higher purpose here, right? Like I need to take care of this baby. And doing that means eating. Like I remember going into work one day and I ate a donut and they were like, "You eat donuts?" I was like, "Yeah, I do. Yeah, just I'm regular, okay?" And I like, I mean, I think
Regular.
they figured out later that it was because I was pregnant, but it was to that, like, it's like that was kind of the first moment.
Meredith is dying. What are
I'm
you
regular,
laughing?
okay?
I know I was like,
Kills
kind
me.
of offended by it too because I was like, "Yeah, I eat donuts. I'm normal." Like,
I
Mhm.
can't. It's just too good.
but I think there's like this, you're praised for eating healthy or like
Yeah.
choosing good options. And so then I feel like getting pregnant was kind of the first time that I was finally like, well, I can do whatever I want. But then after I had a girl, it was like, well, you gotta fix everything that's wrong with your body image and how you think about
Yeah.
yourself and your body because again, like you have a higher purpose. Like
Yeah.
you need to take care of yourself in a way that you want your kid to be able to take care of themselves. And I think, yes, I think this is important for boys too, but I think it's really important for girls because the messaging that we see and we hear that you can be as body positive as, health, conscious, but also like intuitive eating. And also we have all these different foods. And also, you can be all those things, but girls are going to go out into the world and they're going to hear stuff. They're going to see stuff. They're going to, they're going to be influenced. So I do think, and then as you're talking about the motherhood journey of like, I think it took until maybe my third that I was like, oh, like postpartum, just like be chill, like you need to recover. Don't worry about any of these things. But I remember and I was like, okay, I'm just going to rest. I'm not going to try to work out. Once I hit the 6-month mark, I was like, okay, like here we go, and it was
No more
like,
chill.
yeah. And it was so interesting because I was like, why was I
Yes.
so compassionate to
Yes.
myself and so
Ugh.
kind and so like your body just went through like it's your third time giving birth.
Yeah.
Your body's like feeding a child. You're doing all this stuff. Like, you need to have all this nourishment. And then I was like, nope, not anymore. Almost like I gave myself that time. And then after that, I was like, okay, now it's time to go to the gym. Now it's time to do this. Now it's time to, think about these options. And I think there's so much of that. And I think the words that we say to ourselves are so powerful because
Yeah.
it's like, how could I have that compassion at that one moment, like for those, 6 months or however, and then all of a sudden not. And it's like the only thing that changed was my own
100%.
my own thoughts.
Yep.
And wouldn't we be so much, I mean, I guess this is it, like, wouldn't we be so much more kind to our bodies if we had more compassion and thought of it instead of like, oh, let me have this meal that is nourishing to me because it's good for me. Or like, let me have this meal that's nourishing to me because I need to restrict, like that feels so much different because if I'm
Yeah.
telling myself that I'm nourishing my body, I'm nourishing my body. But if I'm telling myself I'm restricting, I'm feeling different. Like I'm feeling so
Mhm,
different. If I'm telling
mhm.
myself I'm going for a run because I love to run, that's different than like I have to run because
That's right.
XYZ. Like I'm running because I want to train for this thing or I want to, I want to get out of my house by myself. Like,
Yeah.
or I want to
Yeah.
listen to this podcast or I want to like, I want some time by myself. Like it's different.
Yeah.
So I do think, I mean, your question earlier is like, how should we think of our bodies? And like, who knows?
Right.
But I
Right.
do know that we need to, one, be grateful for all. I mean, if we're thinking of motherhood specifically, like we need to be grateful for everything that it's done for us. And we need to be compassionate for everything that it's done for us. And we need to treat it well. And whatever
Mhm.
that looks like for you or anybody else, like we know, and I think it's hard to say, but it's like we know what's good for us. Like what's
Yeah.
good for you. And like that's like you feel good when you're treating yourself well.
Mhm. Okay.
think-
So, oh yeah, go ahead, Anna. Yes.
Oh,
Well, I think part of what's so hard too, specifically, I mean, this is good, like general body image as well, but I think specifically postpartum, um, your your bandwidth is different. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that mental battle
The
of
word.
like, I used to be able to work out at 6 a.m. or at 4 p.m., like whenever you want. I used to
Yeah.
have time to cook. I used to have time, like all these different things. And now well, that takes away
Yeah.
from time with my child, or that
Yeah.
like this child screaming all the time. I
Right.
literally will not stand over a burning stove with my screaming child
That's right.
because no, like
That's right.
I just feel like on top of the pressure we put on ourselves
Yeah.
body wise, like that, it is
Yeah.
a real logistical shift every
Yes.
time you add a new child. And our capacity is not the same. And so we cannot hold ourselves to the same standard, but we do. And that is a whole
Well, we
nother.
hold ourselves to a standard of like a fitness influencer. I saw something recently that I thought was so funny. And it was like, if you are not up in the middle of the night several times and you're not juggling a morning routine, like I don't want to see your fitness routine. Like I don't want to see your
Yeah.
fitness routine. I
Yeah.
don't want to see your meal plans. If you
Yeah.
are not feeding 2 or 3 kids, if you
Yeah.
are not waking up in the middle of the night, if you are not getting everybody out the door, like
Right.
I'm sorry, no,
Yeah.
I can't leave my house by myself at 5:15 when, either I have a baby to get back down or I have like kids to help, finish their homework before they go off to school or, mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. So here's maybe a hot take, or I don't know. I don't know if this is spicy or not. My perception of the three of you, though, are that you three all seem, from my perspective, to genuinely enjoy some sort of physical activity. So, like Anna, I know like you run and you seem to enjoy it. Hannah, you run and go to the gym and like work out and seem to enjoy it. Meredith, I feel like I've observed you in different iterations of like Pilates or like you live a very active life, like walking, Pilates, or different fitness elements that you've incorporated. And even in my health journey, where like losing weight was important to me at that time, and I was doing like 3 workouts a week, I never like looked forward. Like it's not something that I am like, I cannot wait to do this thing. Whereas
Yeah.
like my perception of the three of you is that you guys genuinely look forward to it. So like that's another thing I'm curious about is just like in general with like humans, but I think
Is it a gene?
is it yeah, or like so like you said, Hannah, like we know what is good for us. I agree with you. I've also seen the results of, and I remember what it
Yeah.
felt like to feel like in every area of my life during that season. I felt like, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and professionally for that like year, it felt like I was just running on all cylinders, like in a good way, like running it at all cylinders was just like how I wanted all of them to look. So I know that. And it's not a capacity issue for me right
Yeah.
now. I have the time, like I know how to fit it in.
Sure.
So why am I still not doing it? Because then I get frustrated that I
No.
don't even have the desire to. It's like a disconnect between, I don't know if it's like my head and my heart. Like my head is like, you want to feel different. You know what it could feel like on the other side. You know that if you start today, 6 months from now, what the outcome would be and how much better you would feel. Yet I still don't want to go put on my tennis shoes or my workout clothes and go do the thing.
Can you talk more about, and I'm not asking this question from a diagnostic perspective, like, well, what's wrong with you? Not at all.
Well, I would love to figure out what's wrong
No.
with me. Please just tell me.
This is not Fix Holly. This is not a Fix Holly episode. This is like the most universal, understandable. Like I feel like this episode, people are gonna be like, oh yes, thank you, Holly. So first of all, I just want to say that I am just curious, like if you dug down into the, thought process, the voices, whatever's going on, what do you think it is that is causing that resistance?
The other question I
Yeah.
might have for the same, like if you're thinking about that, or like, do you have a memory or a like tie to what exercise is? Like if someone said like, say what's exercise in one word, like would you be like punishment? Would you be like
Right.
hard work? Would you be like some sort of tie that when you think of exercise, it means this?
Like, what does she associate it
Yeah.
with, kind of thing?
That's a good question. The phrase hard work resonate. Like it does feel like work.
Mhm.
And so then, because I feel like what my therapist would say would be like, well, then you're tired. Because if something is feeling like, but then I'm like, but I'm
You
getting
are,
enough
yeah.
sleep. I'm feeling fulfilled in the work that I'm doing. And so that's like something I've been thinking about a lot lately. But like I don't see it as punishment. Okay, okay, this is Hannah, you and I were voice memoing, and this is like a whole nother episode on the topic of like boredom. So like we have a Peloton. We don't use it. The times that I have used it, I'm bored. The Peloton is boring to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You know that don't sponsor us.
Yeah.
oh, sorry. Oops. But like I'm like, and I
That's
had
what
this
Sylvia
thought the other day
backed
because we were cleaning out the room that
Because you're
it's
not
in.
going anywhere.
That's what it is. So Hannah, I think that's what it is. It's like, so walking, I do enjoy walking.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is something you like.
So running, I did track in high school, or sorry, I guess it was middle school actually. Yeah, it wasn't high school, it was middle school. And I was always last. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe I have that memory of like,
win.
Ooh.
Can't
Okay.
win at exercising. Wait, what's
That's interesting.
Dave. What's the show with the guy with the curly mullet? And he's like, I'm not trying to be the best at exercising, like
Oh, I
going
don't
to
know.
the gym or something like that. I don't know. Okay, but you can't win. Like,
And so I feel like even hearing myself talk, it's like I do think if there was like a social element, which is interesting because in my health journey, that was my own self. That was like me doing a solo workout. But anyway, I do think like a social element, or like I've even thought about exploring like kickboxing. Like that sounds fun.
accountability. I think too,
Mhm.
sometimes, well, two things I'm thinking about. One, I think is it Evelyn? I mean, I know Evelyn Tripoli does the intuitive eating, but part of intuitive eating is figuring out joyful movement. So like what's
Oh,
what's a movement that you like to do? Like if you didn't think, if you had, there was no guarantee that your body would change, but just that this would be good for you and fun, what kind of movement would you choose? You know, is it
Literally.
walking? Is it dancing? Is it, you know, I don't know, skipping, jumping rope? Like what is your fun thing to do? Like that could be one question to ask. Like if it was just something that you're like, I want to move my body, and what can I do that's really fun? I know people, yeah, that go to dance classes and it's like choreographed dance, but it's like, it's fun and they're sweating and they're jumping around. And then the other thing too is like the accountability piece. I love group classes because it's like people are expecting you to be there. And then you kind of feel
yes.
this like, am I disappointing them? Like, sad about this, but you know, there was a year and a half or something that we were going to CrossFit, like Dave and I, my husband and I, and it was like so close to our house. And it was like the same people were there every day. You went to the same class. And it's like, if you skipped, like, not that anyone would be like, why weren't you here? But there was a feeling of like answering to somebody. And so it was like the accountability felt like, it felt really helpful, but it also was really fun. Like,
Yeah,
you're spending
community.
an hour there.
Community
you
is
have
a huge part of it.
you're
Yeah.
talking about what are you doing that day, what's going on in your life, what's hard, what's easy, what's fun, you know, and then you're making friends and it doesn't feel like work because it's fun.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like I was looking at the Peloton the other day because we were cleaning out that room and I was like, why and it's like I was reminded of our conversation about changing your mind because it's like,
Yeah.
if we sold it, we're not going to make, a lot of money on it. But I had this thought where I was like, what if we sold it? Let's say we get like $600. So like what's holding me back right now from doing a group class is the money. Cause I'm like, but I have the Peloton. So why would I spend money
Oh.
on it? So, but then I was looking at Peloton and I thought, but what if we got $600 and then I put that towards,
Yep.
gym that has group and that gives me, I don't know, at least a few months of exploring some group classes that might be fun because I can freaking change my mind. And why am I staring at this? Why do I hold this like commitment to this object that's
Yeah.
in this room that I've only used maybe 20 times in the last 5 years we've had it when I don't freaking enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
so weird.
Fair
go.
question. The other thing too, I mean, this is like a total practical thing, and also sponsor us, ClassPass. You live in a giant city. You literally
Yes.
for $7 a month could be on ClassPass and go use credits to try a $10 Pilates reformer or spin or kickboxing or jujitsu,
It's not that
whatever
cheap.
class.
It's not that cheap, but
Well, mine is, but then I pay for the extra credits. Scott pays a little more for his credits that are more built in. So you can have like different tiers. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's
No,
cheap
but that's
enough to get
awesome.
variety in your life.
right. Like
Yes.
to get
And
yeah,
that sounds fun to me.
Mhm.
Like what y'all are, it's like explore, it's like something new.
sounds
It's
fun.
scheduled. Like I'm a
Okay.
very scheduled person. So like having it on my calendar.
100%. You know,
You
we're
get
15.
you get
Yep.
dinged if you don't go. Like you're still gonna have to pay for it if you don't go. So the
And there's
accountability.
community. And there's like healthy competition. If you like competition, like I'm gonna spin harder than this girl next to me or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking, like whatever floats your boat. I'm always the last on the leaderboard. Like whatever. I showed up. That was the win. Literally,
Yeah.
get me out of here. But
Yeah.
like I
I
don't.
do think there's a fear of being bad though. Like I do remember
Yeah, that's fair.
like going back after maybe it was this third kid, like this third kid, and after my third, like going
That
to the gym,
person.
I kept waiting. Like I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna go on Monday, and then I'm like, oh, maybe on Wednesday, maybe on, and it's like it's not that I didn't
I
want
feel
to go.
that.
I did want to go, but I was like, I'm gonna be so weak. Like
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
fair.
pick up a weight that's gonna feel so it's gonna feel heavy or like
Uh-huh.
it's gonna be even now, like I'm putting the Duna in the car and I'm like, why are my abs so weak?
Oh
Like,
boy.
why?
Duna is the
We have a
reason we
big
lift weights.
car. Yeah, it's
Duna
heavy.
is you can sponsor us, Duna, but also whoa, that's so heavy.
It's so
It's
heavy.
heavy. I know. And so
Holy
I'm like,
mother of God.
I have to step up and then I have to put it into the car and I'm like, why is this so hard?
Yeah. It's like a maybe
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
a subliminal reminder that I'm back to square one, or even like feeling like
sissy.
below square one, like negative. Like maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, like the belief of like, where are the shoulds existing right now for you, and how are they keeping you captive?
Mhm.
Great question.
Probably, I think one of them was that realization this last week where it was like that I'm telling myself I should use the Peloton. Like that it's like,
You're like, no, never.
yeah, but it's like, but I'm not, and I don't enjoy it. Like I even tried
Yeah.
it a couple weeks ago and it was just like, I
This-
don't like this.
Yep.
You know?
Permission to make a different choice, you know?
Yes, permission. And
Permission
then I was
to-
reminded of our last conversation. I was like, I'm in charge. I get to, and Elliot has even brought up, like, I mean, he's used it like maybe 3 whole times in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, why?
Okay,
the
sell it.
heck
You
is-
need to sell it. Which I'm like, also we have a Peloton in our garage too. And I'm like, okay, we need to
But
sell.
you've used
I know
yours.
I went through periods of like after during COVID, after having my second, like that was like I loved using it for that time. And then once I started going to CrossFit, I was like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing this anymore. And now I'm like, it's collecting dust. And like again, they had the same idea of like, well, I should use it. And it's like, yeah, but the gym has childcare. Like,
Yes.
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also, from a practical standpoint, I feel impressed upon to say, yeah, permission for movement to look different in different seasons of life. Like before I got pregnant, I was strength training 3 to 4 times a week. And that was new for me. I was scared of it. I thought I wasn't going to be good at it. But then I read Mindset by Carol Dweck and I was like, growth mindset, girl, you can do it. And I was like, yeah, okay. It was not because I was like, I want to lift weights. Absolutely not. It's inconvenient and they're heavy. I'm like, wait, I don't like it. And I was like, growth mindset. Okay. So like I was doing it for the personal growth. And then I got pregnant and barely survived my first trimester. And now I'm like, yeah, I'll pick up a weight, whatever. Like but I'm also like, I think all of us need to hear, I mean, I might being a little bit authoritative there, but like permission for movement to look different in different seasons. Holly, if walking is giving you life right now, don't let anyone take that away from you, girl. Like you don't have to be doing something else. Like you if you'd like to, phenomenal. If you're like, there's a little bit of shoulding happening and a little bit of shame in my spirit, but enough other good stuff can override that. But yeah, I'll try ClassPass, or yeah, I'll try this kickboxing class or whatever. Okay. But if shame is really driving the show here, but really your spirit's like, but I like walking. Is that okay? Yes, it very much is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you get to give yourself permission to like quiet the other voices in your mind that would tell you it's not enough or you should be doing XYZ thing. Like movement can look different in different seasons.
Yes. Well, that gets into my next thing, which is probably a whole nother episode because I hear you and I agree with you. And like, choose walking, but I am gaining weight right now. So like
I see. Okay.
so then it goes into, well, then I need to, if I feel like the story I'm telling myself right now is if walking feels good and that's my choice, I need to make different food choices
Sure.
to be able to literally fit in my clothes.
Sure. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, when I
And
hear
that
how
feels
it's like,
exhausting.
yeah, 100%, because it's more work, it's more figuring out, it's more, ugh. And then I would guess, based on what you just said, it's another reminder of like, cool, I'm back at square one, or in your words, below square one. And as somebody who is high achieving, top performing, and like all areas of life, that would feel so defeating that it would feel like, F it. What, like, never mind. That's how it would feel for me. I'd be like, oh, never mind. I'll deal with this a different day. And then it just keeps like piling up in the proverbial closet.
100%. Yes.
Yeah. And so
Mhm.
then it's like, okay, now where do I find a starting point in all this? Because now it's just so coated in shame. I barely want to look at this closet. Shame and
Yes.
overwhelm, It's like, God.
And my closet because as this is like a new thing that I feel like moms have, and maybe, I don't know, but it's like, where I literally look at the closet and I'm like, okay, this is my section that I could wear back in 2023 from
Yeah.
when I did feel my healthiest.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use the
Get
word
those out of
healthy.
there. Put those in storage.
Okay, but the way my brain works is I need to see that reminder of how
No.
healthy I felt at
No.
that time.
No, you don't. That's bringing you shame. Is that helping?
I guess not.
Blatant, like, is that helping? I love
I
it.
love it. No, I needed to hear that because in
Right? It's not
Yeah.
helping. If shame worked, it would have worked by now.
so good. That's going to be your book, Hannah. You've got to write that book. You
Seriously.
do.
But it's
because
so true. It's like looking at those things. I think, looking at those things are one, it's giving you're seeing all these clothes and then you're like, but I can't even choose from all these clothes. So why would I
Yeah.
walk into my closet and not be able to choose this like that's no. I
Yeah.
remember Shelley Bishop says this. She's like, your closet should be the boutique that you shop at. Like your favorite boutique that you shop at. So it doesn't have to be like a relic of like vintage stuff. Like it's what you can wear now. And if it's a smaller choice, like I love that. I love having only a certain amount of things because I'm like, this is what I'm going to wear. Like when we travel in the summer, I'm like, this is amazing. Like my options are so limited and I wear all of the same things. Like how many blue and white striped shirts that you have? Like you shouldn't have that many because you could just keep wearing the same three.
Yes.
But
So
yeah,
Hannah,
take those out.
do you get rid of them or do you like put them away into like storage?
So this is what I did. So in the past, I've gotten rid of them. And so after having my second, I had a lot of clothes that were way too small. Like they would not. And so I got rid of everything because I was like, I can't see it. Which there are some things where I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. Because then I would like be buying it back later, but whatever. After that, let's see, I kept some things because I was buying new clothes. My body was a different size again. And so I was like buying new clothes. I had the thought in my mind, like if I have another kid, these clothes might be helpful, right? Like if they're the same, it's probably blue and white striped shirt, a white, a white shirt, a pair of white jeans, a pair of black jeans, like these clothes might be helpful. I'm buying the same in a new size. Why not keep these if I do want to have another kid? And so they got put into a box. They went up into the attic and they were like, if you get pregnant again, you can go into that box. And that's what happened. I got pregnant again. And I was like, okay, I'm going back into that box. And I put back up the stuff that I said, do not open until, spring of 2025.
Wow.
I was like, don't even think about it because it's not an option. Like it's just, it probably is not an option. And then in my mind, I would say like, okay, I do have another pair of white jeans that I could go and get. And so then I could bring it down and say like, okay, are these things fitting? Oh yeah, they do fit now, like I'll take these out and I'll put these other ones away. And so they're not stuck in my closet. I'm not checking sizes to see like, and I think this has been helpful. It's been helpful to have kids that understand things like this because they're growing out of their clothes, right? When you're a kid, you're growing out of your clothes and you're like, oh, these don't fit me anymore. And you're kind of disappointed, right? Like you're like, oh man, this is my favorite pair of PJs. And now they don't fit because I'm growing. But they don't see it as like, they see it as like, oh, I miss that clothes, but they don't see it as a
A good or a
negative.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I've said to them, sometimes they'll be like, why don't you wear this dress? And I'm like, oh, you know what? That doesn't fit me right now. And they're like, oh, why not? And I was like, well, remember how big my tummy was? Like, remember it had to grow in order to grow, my child. And I was like, it takes a long time for it to go back. And it's another way of saying like women's bodies change a lot during their lifetime.
Yeah.
Like if even just in the last 10 years, like pregnant, not pregnant, and then pregnant, and then again, and then again. Like it's like your body is changing so many times. It's going to change again in menopause. It's going to change again. Like this is part of being a woman that has to be normalized, because I think what is normalized, I get on my soapbox, but what is normalized is that like, oh, whatever you are at in high school is what you should be at.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like, I'm 35. Like, how could I do that? Like, no. And now now with all these drugs that are out, like,
Yeah.
there's this like, well, if you can, why aren't you? If you can just go to your doctor, or maybe not your doctor, maybe go to your weight management thing on the corner, and get this drug, like, then everybody should be back to their high school size. And it's like, not everyone wants to do that. Not everybody thinks that that's the right way to go about this. And not everybody needs that.
Mhm. Or has the means to, or
Or
Right.
has the means to, or like, I think our society now is just like skinnier is better. And it's like, that's not really true. Like,
Yeah.
is 5 pounds making you unhealthy? Like, no.
Mhm.
Again, I'm not a doctor, so nobody take that advice from me, but
So
Well,
good.
I want to also, I think there's a group of people that are exercising and eating right and still not losing weight, right? Or like still not getting to the place where they want to look
feel
postpartum.
nice. Yeah.
And then, like exercise has become a part of my routine, semi out of like, Emmy was waking up at 5 a.m. and I was like, we have 3.5 hours to fill before school.
We're going for a walk.
I don't even know what to do for 3.5 hours. So I started walking, and then I started running. Like it was out of like,
Necessity.
and I won't say necessity. I know there's a lot of other things that you could do theoretically, but it's like, it was just like, I don't want to play for 3.5 hours. Like I'm going
Who
on a walk.
does?
Yeah, at least
In
I
a way
can
for
see
you to
something
take care of
pretty.
yourself. We were able to take care of
Exactly.
yourself at a time when you couldn't really choose whether or not you were up. Like you guys were going to be up. Might as well
Exactly.
go for a walk. We know walking is good for us. I mean,
Right.
we're connecting our right brain and our left brain as we're walking. We're
Right.
taking in the sights. Like walking is good for you. And like your
Right.
kid, you're getting them outside, seeing the
Exactly.
sun, and then hopefully maybe their circadian rhythm will adjust,
Exactly.
and maybe she'll go to
All
sleep
of the
more.
little like benefits. And like, but if she were to start waking up at 7:30 in the morning, God forbid, would I ever walk again? I don't know. And so it's like, I wouldn't say my motivation is necessarily like on point either. And so I think there's all these different groups of people struggling in different ways of, but yeah, I am curious, like how we like talk to the person that feels like they are doing all of the right things and nothing is changing. And maybe it's the same things, that we've already been saying, but it's like, how do we love on and motivate and care for that person?
I've got a thought. I haven't fully fleshed it out yet, as per usual. But as I'm hearing all this, I'm sort of like, to me, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it does come back to, on some level anyway, the beliefs that we are beholden to. The belief that, like, if I'm looking at my physical closet, I quote should be back at 2023 size, but it's 2025 and I'm not there. And not only am I not there, I feel even more behind the 8 ball. That sends me into a spiral, but I'm reminding myself of it daily. Or like, so then like, but what are the beliefs that are informing those? Sorry, I'm using your Holly, your
No,
story as an
please, it's
example,
fine.
but it's so
Yes.
universal. Like, wow. So what are the beliefs in informing that? What are the beliefs informing me that I should keep that section of my closet there to look at? Like, what is Julian Michaels in my closet? Like, these were your pair of pants. It's like, no. right? And so it's like, God, like, why do I feel the need to be so hard on myself? And then it's like, okay, what are those beliefs, right? Like, I think there's an invitation. It's going to sound so an invitation to assess, but it's true because the truth is, Anna, even as you're talking, I'm like, the truth is we can't actually speak to the masses because the masses have to speak to themselves. You are the only one that gets to decide how you feel about your body and how movement feels for you and how nourishment feels for you and how it looks and what's too stressful, what's not. I mean, my gosh, right now, I say this with a ton of like acknowledgement that I have what would be called thin privilege, right? Like I get it, okay? And I also understand the mindset of like right now I'm letting myself be a bit softer, right? Than I like quote should be, could be, whatever. Honestly, even the people have come to expect of my body, which is a whole nother belief system, right? So we got to assess that. But I'm like, I'm eating more carbs. God forbid. But I'm like, I don't have the stress and I don't have the bandwidth or care right now to monitor it. But I decided that, right? It's like, okay. So, but that's an example. That's not me saying everyone just be like me. Okay. Like I get that there's a lot more nuance and I just want to honor every single person listening. You have your own links in your chain that I do not know a thing about. You have your own medical history with food, nourishment, movement, or not at all. And you're like, what are y'all even talking about? Like, you're like the 0.1%. Congratulations, girlfriend. But like, you are the one that gets to decide how do I proceed forward. And then you get to ask for help. How do I think about this? That's exactly what this episode is. How do I think about this? What would be a more helpful way? Like, I'm in my own head about this and I don't want to be anymore. Help. Absolutely. And understand you have the power to decide it, because honestly, at the end of the day, as somebody who works in both the nutrition space and the mindset space, like as a coach, I think the thing that's going to take us out of ourselves more than anything is the stress, right? Like if it is stressing you out to monitor your macros, take a break and just see what happens, right? If it's stressing you out to look in your closet every day, friggin' put them in the back of the attic, like the back, like make them out of sight, out of mind, or put them on Poshmark to make a buck, or give them to Goodwill. Goodbye, right? Like what on earth is stealing from your internal peace? Because that is going to be, those voices are what needs to be quieted. It's less about the stomach post C-section. It is more about what is going on up here, because that's going to that's going to come out sideways more than anything else.
I love it.
Preach, Meredith.
So good. Y'all have been
Got very loud.
helpful. Yeah, Hannah, go for it. And then I want to wrap us up with like a couple things I learned from you guys today that maybe resonates with our listeners.
I don't have anything that can follow up to Meredith. But I wonder if there are, great job. Call Meredith, and she will help you.
Yell.
I wonder if there are some ways, like sometimes people like a toolkit or they like
love a toolkit.
Some compassionate phrases or some things I can do when I walk into my closet, right? Like when I say, these kinds of things, or when I'm approaching mealtime, or when I'm approaching movement, like, or things like that. Like, are there helpful mantras that people could say that would be truthful and not, Pollyanna? I think that's where I'm always going, is that like, we don't want to go and be like somebody that doesn't feel great about themselves, like look in the mirror every morning and be like, you're so beautiful. Like,
right.
If you don't believe it, it doesn't matter, you know, like, but what are ways that we can like ground people in or give, if people want this, like truth that can help them feel more compassionate?
I wonder if a way you're saying, what you're also saying, Hannah, a phrase that came to mind is like, we get to live in reality, but how do we approach that reality with kindness towards ourselves? Okay, I am bigger than I'd like to be right now. Okay, that can be reality, but how do I approach that with kindness and with less meaning and sting, so it's not then all the beliefs and the voices start coming in. Well, you should remember, well, you did this to yourself. Well, you, it's like none of that, right?
I've been focusing on other things in my life for the past year and a half.
It's kind of like a love and logic approach.
Wait, say that again.
Yes.
It's kind of like love and logic approach. Like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, reality is, toddler, you forgot your rain jacket at home and it's raining outside. What a bummer. Next, it's not like, well, you should have thought of that. It's not, we're not shaming. It's like that. It's just kind of an ode to the idea of love and logic. We approach things with reality, but we're loving about them. Matter of fact, but loving. Okay. And if we want to make a different choice, we can. Next.
Love it. Yeah, so that was a couple of things I learned today. So the what shoulds am I listening to? And so like the very practical example of that with me is the Peloton. So it's well, the Pelotons and then the clothes in my closet, which I'll come to in a second. So like with the Peloton, the realization of let it like that it is identifying that I'm bored, that it bores me, and that in order for me to be motivated to move, it needs to be fun. Like for me personally. So letting go, making the choice to realizing that I have the agency to make the choice and then of what to do with the Peloton and then deciding to invest those resources in something that sounds fun. And so for me, like just hearing you guys even talk of like whether it's ClassPass or maybe even taking 1 month and trying, like I've never tried Orange Theory. So like saying, okay, for 1 month, I'm going to try Orange Theory.
Sure.
For another month, I'm going to do this and just explore and have fun. That actually sounds exciting to me. Rather than getting on the Peloton does not sound exciting to me. So that was my first learning. And then the second one was related to that, but with the clothes in my closet of, because I am wired that way as an achiever of like using guilt and shame to motivate me. And so like, yeah, literally getting rid of the closets. And Hannah, you say things naturally. I don't even realize if you know that you're saying it, but like you were talking about your clothes and you said those were helpful to me. Whereas like I've never like thinking of clothes as being helpful is something that I like never have even thought of, but you use that word. And so I'm like, yeah, to your point about a phrase, like, man, these jeans were helpful to me in 2023 when I was trying to get healthy. And you know what? These stretchy pants were helpful to me postpartum when I was trying to feed my, do all the learning my new self as a mom, whatever. Right. So it's kind of like the whole, like, did they bring me joy? I like,
Right.
I like asking like, or like, identifying that these were helpful to me then, and these are helpful to me now, but removing these pants that were helpful to me then are not helpful to me now, removing them from even my eyesight is helpful. So yeah, those were two practical takeaways of things that I like literally want to go and do. Like I want to put the clothes in the attic and then I want to literally go sell the Peloton. So I'll keep you guys posted on how this
Item.
Can I share one final thought that I don't want to forget?
Of course.
I know from personal experience and various other, circumstances, nutrition or otherwise, this work, dear listener, dear all of us, is going to require that we disappoint some long-held voices in our head. And that is going to feel scary and different and possibly even anxiety producing. There will be the disappointment when you shush them and they're going to want to, no, I'm used to being here. I've made my claim here. And it's like, I don't know, man, I got to get you quiet. You know what I mean? And that will disappoint. And that is important. And that is going to be a marker of how you know you're moving in a new, more life-giving direction.
So good. Absolutely. It's awesome. Well, thank you guys for listening to my journey on this. And then I want to do another episode on like the eating or like nutrition component, because I've noticed since like pregnancy and then a little bit postpartum, and now that I'm at the time of us recording this, 18 months postpartum, my like hunger and all, like, man, it's changed several times. So curious to hear if you guys resonate with that and things that we can learn from that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, again, as always, thank you to our sponsor, PDPed. Use promo code MOMREADY to get 20% off your first order. And then head on over to getmomready.com where you can subscribe for our weekly email where we do a summary of each episode and then also some reflection questions or like key takeaways there at the end. And if you're a part of our paid community, we put 2 resources out a week. So far, that includes Meredith's Wellness Guide. I've got a working mom pumping traveling guide. Anna's got her preparing for the hospital packing guide. And then we've got Hannah's mindset guide on all stages from pregnancy to postpartum. So all of that you can find at getmomready.com. We'll see you over there. Bye, guys.